Blissful listeners, and welcome back to the Bliss podcast. My name is Faraja Kale, and I'm glad to have you here with me today. Joining me today is a friend of mine. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Faraja. I am honored to be on a podcast. My name is Catherine Nyambura Maina. I am 19 years of age. Yeah, I am turning 20 actually. I am a nursing student. I'll basically say I'm in year 2. Yeah, and I talk a lot. That's true. That's something.
So let's get started with today's episode. We're talking about intentional healing, finding joy and peace in our lives.
Yeah.
And so we'll start with our icebreaker segment. And my question for you today is, what is one lesson you're learning in the recent past?
People will always be people, and they cannot change just because you want them to change. Unless it's internal, you have no control over how people react, how people behave, how people speak, how they dress. You have no control over anybody except yourself.
I've been learning that you need not to be controlled by your past. There are times we hold on to the past so much that we are not seeing the progress that we're making in life. And it really doesn't make sense for you to hold on to something. So you just have to let go, in as much as it's hard or tough. Because you have to live life and to enjoy it, not focus on the past. So yeah.
True.
So let's get started with today's episode. And my first question to you is, could you tell us more about how your childhood was like and the various challenges you faced, considering we're talking about intentional healing? So there's obviously a journey you had or experiences you met that ultimately led you to a point of healing.
I think I had the longest childhood, in my opinion, and long in the sense that my childhood was not the best. I think I started enjoying and realizing that life is worth living when I was about 14 years of age. That's basically in high school.
Yeah.
So I lived with my grandmother for, let's say, the first 10 years of my life, because partially I'd live with my mom, but not as wholly as I was indulged with my grandmother. And the first few years, until I was like 6, my grandmother was in an abusive relationship. So my grandfather would lash out on me. He would beat me at night. He would deny us food. He'd make us sleep outside at night. And I think the weird thing about being a child is you cannot understand it. You don't have the mental capacity to understand it. So I thought it was normal. Like, it was normal. Everybody was probably going through that at that age. And then there's this whole thing of my mom being absent, and I'm in school, and kids are bullying me, telling me, oh, you don't even have parents. How comes you don't live with your mom? Oh, you don't even have siblings. You're probably an orphan. The kids will say the craziest things. So there was that. And then living with my mom was another change. Well, until my grandmother had to just leave him after an attempted murder, because that's what it was. And living with my grandmother, I remember one time I knew where my mom was living, and I was like in class 4, so I go to her house instead of going at my grandmother's place, and I'm like, why am I still living with my grandmother if you're still alive? Like, kids in school are saying this and this about me. And she was like, fine, you want to live with me? Okay. So living with my mom, there's this whole other culture shock and change of, wait, I cannot just do anything I want to do. I can't just talk the way I want to talk. Because my mom was very strict with me when I was young. And I took it the wrong way, of course. I took it like she didn't like me because she had my brother then. She probably likes my brother more than she likes me, because she's been with my brother for longer, like 2 years, imagine. And I hated that. I hated the fact that my brother enjoyed his childhood with my mom. Little did I know it was probably not the same, but just because she was living with him, that doesn't mean that life was better. And my mom would beat me. Oh my God, I'm a child of being beaten. Nilikuwa nimechapwa. And I hated that also. And I will say hurt people. Because it only took a few years for me to understand her actions towards me, but because at around my age, going forward till the time she was giving birth to me, she was treated so unfairly. And her thinking she was showing me love was actually so much the opposite of love. And she was punishing me for things that were so unreasonable sometimes. And of course, I had my flaws. There are times where I'd talk to her badly, I'd show her resentment, I'd show my brother so much resentment. And it would hurt her, and she'd be like, let me just beat her, atacha, and then you beat me, and then I get angry. The cycle continues. Yani, my relationship with her was not good. My childhood was basically lashing out with my mom, preferring my grandmother over her, and just being bullied in primary school. I think in high school I experienced bullying, but it's different. We actually went to the same high school with Faraja. So in high school, I think the kind of bullying I was getting was, I don't think the people who are doing that to me thought they were bullying me, but the whole pointing out flaws and talking ill of me and making me feel inferior in every way they could. I think later I processed it as bullying. So there was that.
And let me just ask, you've pointed out that you were beaten multiple times. So, like, I've seen this with a couple of people. Did it get to a point where even them beating you had no effect on you? Like, you sort of developed a hard skin towards, like, correction?
Yeah. It actually happens like that. They get so used to beating you, and you're like, you know what? See, twendele basi. And you just get used to it. You don't even cry. But I remember that times I'd be beaten and I'd look at my mom, and my mom would think I'm so rude to her because why are you not reacting?
Crying,
sasa. You actually develop a form of resistance to it. You don't even feel the pain. You get the scars, you don't feel the pain. And you're okay.
Now, when all this was happening, did you have like a safe place for you to go to? Because now home with your mom was not an option, with Shosh was not an option. So, like, what would you do to get peace if you ever had peace?
I think I'm so grateful for my creative abilities because at a young age I was writing poems. I was writing short stories about how I was feeling about life and what I think should have happened differently in my life. And I write, I journal. I have so many journals. I write. I basically write everything down most of the times. If I am hurt, I will write, and I will express myself so well in that writing than I would if I was talking to a person. So I always wrote. If I felt bad, I just write. Yeah.
Okay. So where was the turning point for you? After all this happened, like, what was that one thing that made you say, okay, I'm done with this type of life. I want to live life in a different way. How was that for you?
I've had 2 turning points. The first one was during COVID. Because I remember there's a meeting that our parents had, and then shortly after, we're being told you have to go home and you don't know if you're going to come back to school. And during that meeting, my mom was so mad at me, and I was so mad at her. And Mom kidogo, you're telling me I have to go home.
And you're mad at her.
And it was so awkward. It was so awkward because at that time my mom was expectant. So at the back of my mind, how am I processing this? I got replaced with my brother, and oh my god, there's another replacement. I'll never have my time. And I just sat down and I just realized that I cannot dictate her life. Why am I making her go through so much with dealing with me? When I can just relax and mind my own business and just do what she tells me to do. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to be with your parents forever. And then I think I will say spiritually something clocked. Because when I was living with my grandmother, I was so religious, so spiritual, I would say. I used to go to church with her and all. And during COVID, I was like, hi, people are dying. And I saw like 2 of my mom's friends who died out of COVID. I also got COVID. My brother got COVID. And I was just like, hi, people are dying. And you're here hating your mom. You're here hating your siblings. And people are dying. You want to die with hatred in your heart. And I just sought God. I sought God. And then the second turning point was last year. So it was just a random incident, but through that incident, I ended up running away from home. And I wouldn't talk about the incident, but I'll say that the night I was coming back with my mom home, she asked me, what is the issue? Like, tell me, talk to me. And for the first time, I didn't have the fear. I told her straight up, this is what I went through in my childhood and you weren't there. This is how life was to me. Something I basically barely mentioned is that I let's just say I got to a point where, like, let's say 2-3 incidences where I was, almost sexually assaulted. So there's that. And I told her that. And I told her how she made me feel. I told her how everything was making me feel and how it was messing up my mind and my attempted suicidal attempts. And I told her everything. And she was like, you know what? My mom opened up to me in a way that I didn't expect. And I just realized I'm probably her mirror reflection. I'm a reflection of her. Because we had basically the same storylines growing up. And I just didn't tell her. She just didn't tell me. And she thought I was rebellious. And I thought she hated me. So there's that. And she talked to me and she was like, you know what? Anything you want, I am here. Talk to me. Oh, I am the only friend you have. I remember that's what she told me. Until date, I'd say it. Yes, I have other friends, but trust me, your mom is going to be the friend that you need most in this life.
True.
And I'm so grateful for my mom because of that life-changing experience and her listening to me and me listening to her. And I just resolved to live life in a more different way after that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So was it easy to like open up to her and her to you, and how did that make you feel? Like you letting go of everything and just being honest with her, how did that feel at the moment?
It was not easy, but I had no other choice. Because one, I have annoyed her. If I don't open up to her, she will forever think I am just a rebellious person who is just choosing to make her life difficult. So I had no other option. It was either I do it then or I don't do it at all and live with the guilt of I made my mom feel so bad because she couldn't understand me, because I made it hard for her to understand me. And doing it in the moment, I think my head, what happened, it's like my whole life was just flashing in front of my eyes. I was telling her things as they were from the age of when I could remember to the most recent of events. Like, it was basically like I'm reading out my journals to her, which I wasn't because we were in her car and it was at night. And it wasn't easy, but it was worth it.
So from that point to where you are right now, how has that impacted your relationship with like your mom, with those around you, with your brothers and sisters? Like, how is your relationship with those around you right now, considering you left or you decided you chose a different path for yourself?
Opening up to my mom was the best thing I ever did in my life. Because let me tell you right now, I'll have something to tell anybody and I'll think of her. She tells me things. She sees me as her friend, and I see her as a sister, as a mentor, and plus I look so alike to my mom. So there's that. So when people see us, they think, oh, they're sisters. And it would be ironic if we ever told a person I'm not even close to my mom. So my relationship with her grew. It made my life so easy. I can simply tell my mom I am doing this, and she'll be like, okay, I'm supporting this, but you can also do it in this. Getting her opinion on how I should do things in my life was also something else I got from that. My relationship with my siblings, I love my siblings. Oh my god, I have 2 siblings. One is 12, the other one is 4. I love my siblings so much. And my small sister, the one who is 4, I think having opened up to my mom and having seen the light, because I would say I saw the light then, I know how I want her to grow. I want her to be able to communicate, and if I couldn't have created that kind of rapport with my mom, she'll always see as if, oh, my mom and sister don't get along. Why should I even get along with any of them? I think I paved the way for something else. And my relationship with my friends is also so good. And my friends know I love my mom. Oh my god. I'm telling you, that was the best thing I ever did. So, yeah.
And so far, what are the techniques or practices that you did that, let us see, sort of enhanced you being in this healing journey and you choosing to see the better side of life? What other, you've talked of journaling and speaking up. So, what other practices have you done to cultivate a healthy relationship in life?
The most underrated thing is getting a relationship with God.
Yeah.
I don't think people talk about it well as much as it should be talked about. Because apart from me being close to my mom, I think going to sleep every night and talking to God and be like, you know what, I am grateful. I am so grateful for this and this and this and this. That is something that has helped me cope. Yes, I'm not the perfect Christian. Yes, sometimes I feel like, oh my God, I'm tired.
Yeah.
But the fact that you know that you always have angels watching over you. You have God watching over you, and always ready to listen to you and to forgive you. That is one of the techniques I would say has helped me cope. The other thing is the consumption of different media. I started changing my music because I'm not going to say that some musicians are bad.
Yeah.
But during my depressive times, let's say, for example, like 2020, I was listening to so much suicidal music.
Yeah.
I was the biggest Juice WRLD fan, to mention. And some of his songs I still listen to today. But later last year, I just realized, oh my God, you're just taking yourself down a path where the media you're consuming is just, I hate life, I can't wait to die. So I changed that, and I watched so many good vlogs. I changed my music. I listened to, in fact, one thing my mom tells me is listen to good music, dance, feel the music within you. So for me, I listen to music which has more of high frequency music. I listen to uplifting music, whether it's gospel or not, as long as the song makes sense, like it makes me want to do this, I will listen to it. So there was journaling, there's good music, there's YouTube, there's God, and what else? I spend time with my friends. I spend time with myself also. I love myself. I think what I got from that was you should love yourself. Because when you love yourself, you will not hurt yourself.
True.
So I started spending time with myself. And then joining uni, I got good friends and all. And I spend time with them when I can. And hobbies. Oh my God. Hobbies. I draw, I crochet, I write poems. Yeah.
And you should start posting your poems.
I think that is something. Let me tell you. Was it yesterday? Yesterday I saw a cousin of mine online. I'll say she's my cousin, and I was shocked because she never used to speak at all. And I'm seeing her talk on TikTok, and I was like, wait, you used to be so shy. What changed? And then I was telling my mom how I'm scared of posting because my mom follows me on TikTok, on Instagram, and I was telling her how I'm afraid of posting because I'm so shy. And she was like, shy because of whose life is it? And I was like, the fear of being perceived. And she was like, there's no such thing. You're the one who is limiting yourself. Do it.
True.
Dress up, talk to people, create content, do it. Yeah, I will start. Yeah.
Yes, you should, and I'll keep you accountable to it.
Please do.
I will. So now, how do you navigate challenges right now, considering you have sort of organized your life in a way that you are happy with being alive and living life? So, say you are faced with challenges. How do you navigate challenges right now compared to how you did it before?
Well, I think through healing, I realized that there were some problems that I had that were actually self-inflicted. They were in reality not existing. I just had them in my head. So let's just say my problems were cut into half. And then the other challenges I was facing, and I face nowadays, first thing I do, there's always that short prayer I make. And then I will write it down. And then I'll tell my mom after 2 or 3 days, I'll get her opinion. So within a week, I have told my friends, I have told my mom. I first of all started by speaking to God. And then nitajita mkutano, and I'll sit down and I'll be like, okay, so this is what I'm dealing with and the opinions I've gotten.
Mm-hmm.
And what do I do about it? Most of the times, just end up realizing, if you have control over it, fix it.
Yeah.
If it's a person, you have the option of either talking to them, confronting them, or cutting them off if their lives and your lives don't align.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're not here for people as much, and your life will be so stagnant because there are people who are destined to, who just choose to make you stay there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. I think the cutting off thing is something that I learned. That hatutasumbuana, you know what? You just remain there. Let me continue moving.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So, and there's also writing. I write a lot.
In terms of self-love, are there days you feel like you are not enough? Or say, like, are there times that you feel like, or you doubt that you are actually progressing? And how do you deal with such days?
Funny enough, last week I was so down. I couldn't show it, but mentally I was in this pit. And I was like, what the hell am I doing with life right now? I think 2 weeks out of 4, I am down mentally, if not physically. And how do I deal with this? One, I started telling myself that there's nothing like missing out.
Yeah.
Because I think I compared my life with so many people, and I was like, this person and I are age mates. Why is it that I'm like this and they're like that? What is it that they're doing different that I'm not? And I realized that we all don't have the same opportunities. We have the same limited time, 24 hours a day, but you don't have the same opportunity. For example, I am 19. Masai Martin is also 19, if I'm not wrong.
She just turned 20 the other day, and the things she's accomplished, yo.
Exactly. But then again, you look at one, her environment.
True.
2, the opportunities that have been presented to her since childhood. And I cannot compare myself with a person who has different things than I do at the same age.
Yeah.
I will grow up. I still have a very long life to live. And there's nothing like missing out. So I just comfort myself with the fact that there's nothing like missing out. 2, I don't wallow in self-pity.
Wow.
Fine, I'm feeling like this. And then my coping mechanisms when I was going through hard times was I'd starve myself, I'd be suicidal. I think there's a time I was also doing self-harm. And that changed. In fact, when I'm going through hard times, I will get on TikTok and I will look for self-care routines.
Wow.
And if I'm in school, for example, I walk. I will walk for a long time. And I eat. I think taking care of yourself when you're going through hard times is so good, because when your mind does not process things the way you think it would, if you're treating yourself nicely, and yes, you're going through a hard time, your mind will be like, higher, things are going to be good.
Yeah.
But if it's vice versa, your mind is like, higher, we're dying. Okay, let us die. Mind over matter. So there's that. Yeah, I just started taking care of myself. When I'm going through hard times, I take care of myself a lot. I take care of myself.
Do you have like any tips on how now our listeners can get to that point of healing and choosing life over death and over all the challenges that one may face? And any tips on finding joy in the little things and even in the big things, and especially how to improve your relationship with your parents? So you can start with the healing part, then the finding joy in life, and then how to just improve your relationship with your parents, because most people our age, honestly, at that point where they're just dealing, or should I say tolerating their parents, because we at the moment we depend on our parents for various things. So it's not that you have like a personal relationship with your parents, but then you're just doing it for the sake of it, you get. But then how do we get to that point where you have gotten that actually your mom is your number one fan, your mom is your personal friend, and you have an open relationship with your mom?
With healing, to get to healing is not linear. Sometimes I still have the relapse. I still feel like, oh my God, I should have done this different. Oh my God, I hate that this happened to me. Accept it. You cannot deal with something that you're you're in denial with. Accept that, yes, this has happened, this is happening. This, you get, you accept it first, and then you face it head on, because you cannot, there's only so much that you can do to ignore something until it comes back again.
True.
So you just face it head on, and facing it head on is not like, okay, so I am dealing with, for example, an abusive partner. Let me start abusing them again. So to begin with, that's not how you heal. Healing is, okay, I am dealing with an abusive partner. I have two options. I can stay and continue being abused, or I can leave and wait for more and different opportunities. Because in as much as people always say there's no other option, there's always another option, there's always another opportunity. There's nothing like missing out, there's nothing like you'll never find it again. Like, there's always opportunities daily. So you accept it, you understand that, yeah, it is happening, and you put the options there and you pick the better option, because dying is never the better option.
True.
Yeah. Enjoying life, it's so underrated. Like, the media you consume has so much to do with who you are as a person. In as much as it's usually, oh, show me your friends and I will tell you who you are, that is also true in its own way. But we're living in a different era, 21st century. Everything is literally on social media.
True.
Everything is on YouTube. You get? So, for example, I think I started doing this with my TikTok feed. If I see a video and it's promoting body shaming or, like, you know, some hater type of thing, I will just click not interested. So my feed will have less of that kind of content, and it will not annoy me. You get? Other than I like it, and then I rant about it, and then I'm like, why are people so entitled on the internet? So you change the media you're taking in, and then read, like, get things from a different perspective. Like, be a smarter human being. Read or watch educative kind of things, not educative in the sense of I am doing nursing, so I will only study about nursing things. Learn other things. It is so good to be all-rounded. It is so good to know things, know how people operate, know how money works, know how you get. And for my reading app, there's this app called Medium, and it has so many articles. And let me just say, that was a game changer. You also have Pinterest. Like, look at things that you actually like. Enjoying life starts with loving yourself. Like, in as much as you cannot enjoy life if you hate yourself, you'll always find a flaw in something. Even if the flaw is already there, you'll always focus on it. So first you love yourself. First you focus on what you're putting inside your mind, what you're putting inside your body, and then the enjoying part will automatically come. I have my kind of friends know that I have boundaries. There's this and this and this you cannot do to me, and there's this and this and this I cannot do to them, and we respect each other. So of course we will enjoy life together because we are on the same life path. We have basically almost the same kind of vision. So yeah, the enjoying part comes automatically. But before that comes, you should actually work on yourself so much. And God, if you're Christian, pray. Oh my God. God is there. Let them not tell you God is not there, because I think if my first ever suicidal attempt ever went through, I am 19, it would have been, I think I first attempted suicide when I was in class 3. So right now I would not be there. And if that went through, I would not be there right now. God is there. God is there. Or if you don't believe in God, just know that there is actually a supernatural being that is not human, that has so much power to influence your life and to make it better, no matter what circumstances are going there. With the relationship with the parents, I think I have the benefit of my mom is young. I have a young mom. She's not that old, so there's that. That's why we can easily get along, because she will listen. I understand that the people who have older parents, parents who are older than my mom, and you cannot change the fact that they believe that they're always right, and there's nothing that you can say that will change that, because they've been on the earth longer, they've seen more, they know more. So for such, I think you just accept it and you just avoid having arguments with them.
Yeah.
Play along if you have to. But if you know you have a mom who is young and can actually listen to you, start with talking to them first. Put things in their perspective for them to understand you. Like, make it seem like you're explaining to them how they want it to be explained to.
Yeah.
And then just being open will come naturally. They will try to create that relationship with you and don't push them away.
Yeah.
If you've talked to them, don't push them away. Let them try, because they're also human. I think the quote that touched me so much was, your mom is also just a girl living for the first time.
Yeah. True.
So I accept. Yeah, so there's two ways towards it. I am advantaged because my mom is young and she listened to me and she's a communicative person. But if that was not the case, I think I will just have accepted it and tried to live within their lines, because then again, you're not with your parents forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Very grateful for your insight. And now we have gotten to the gratitude corner. So I'll ask you, what are the two things you're grateful for now?
I'm grateful for life. I'll say within life and put friends and family and my mom there.
Yeah.
And then I am grateful for God. I am grateful for knowing that there is God. Because there is that. Yeah. It is easier to mend a relationship with God if you knew of Him than to mend it if you didn't have a clue of who God is. So I'm grateful for God and I'm grateful for life.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see.
I think something I forgot to say is, out of all my journals, I have one specific one that is like my holy grail. It's a gratitude journal. No matter how bad things are, I will write at least 5 things that I'm grateful for. Especially when things are going so bad for me.
Yeah.
I go back to that book and I write them. Yeah. So gratitude journal should be there also. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. For me, I can say I am grateful for family. I've had my nieces over for the past few days, and it's just so fun to see them grow up. And I think imagining that they have their whole life ahead of them, especially the whole teenage years, because now we are exiting our teens and we're going to our 20s, and there's a whole your 20s and years. But then I'm just looking at these kids and I'm just like, wow, these kids have their whole teenage years ahead of them. And as you've talked of your sister, there's a way I'd really want them to grow up and know that if anything ever happens, I'm here for them. So I'm grateful for them and for them reminding me that, you see how the kids live a carefree life. I think they remind me that you don't have to worry every single time. You can just choose to be a child and live your life the way you want to live your life without having too much stress. The second thing I'm grateful for is I recently got a prayer partner, and they have been a very huge help to me, because now we send our prayer requests to each other and I pray for them and they pray for me. I think that really helped me to know that, you see how you can tell your friends, I'm praying for you, but then having someone who's actually intentional in saying, yo, what's your prayer points? Like, what do you want me to pray over for you? So that really has helped me and has really, I think, given me the comfort I need in even wanting to know Christ more, so that I can also be of help to them spiritually. So yeah, those are the two things I'm grateful for. Yeah.
That is so cool.
I know.
I think something I'd like to mention is that
Mm-hmm.
I remember last semester I kept on telling a friend of mine, I am so happy that I am a human being.
Mm-hmm.
Because what do you mean human beings just sat and were like, okay, we have food in plants, how about you create more? Like, somebody just sat down in Nairobi and was like, sawa ntaunda smocha.
Mm-hmm.
Like, human beings are so creative. Oh my god, I don't think I will survive being a lion. What do you mean I'm sleeping outside? I'm hunting. I think I'm so grateful for the experience. Being a human being is, yes, I think God did his thing with making me human, with making human beings, because they're the smartest beings. In as much as they're destructive, like the whole human experience is so amazing. Yeah, I'm grateful that I'm a human being.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
So could you share with us your socials and where people can reach out to you and where you're going to be posting your poems?
So, I'm on Instagram. Instagram, my account is Catherine.Nyambura _. And then I have a TikTok account. The name of my username on TikTok is let me look at it. Catherine CA3N Maina MA1NA. That's actually funny. I've never looked at it like that. So yeah, am I on any other platform? I don't think so. Medium, I read. Yeah, those are the two platforms that you can actually get me on. And for Instagram, I will be posting my poems there or content.
Amazing. Yeah, so with that said, you have actually committed to it, so work on it.
Yeah, I will.
Thank you so much for today's episode and for also being here with me. I'm grateful and I love you so much. And I am proud of the progress you have made. And you choosing life means that you are able to enjoy it and to be the person God created you to be. So
Yeah.
keep living, keep
Thank
enjoying
you so
life,
much.
and keep being you. Okay?
Yeah.
Yes, and you're an
Thank you
amazing
so
person.
much. Oh my god. I feel
Yes.
so good. Like I told my siblings earlier, I'm going to be on a podcast. People are going to listen to what I'm saying, and I think this is so cool. Because what do you mean? I am so happy that you have a platform that you use for good. Because I actually love your consistency with posting on your podcast and how you are so committed to it. You are using your skills for something good, and that's so good. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Uh-huh.
And thank you for all our listeners and for all those who have tuned in. We'd remind you that if you have enjoyed this episode, because we know you have, please share it with your family, with your friends, and with anyone you think may benefit from this conversation. So until next time, be the light. God bless you. You can follow us on Instagram at the Balanced Bliss _ and at TikTok at the Balanced Bliss. And yes, be the light. Bye.
Bye.